1,140,000 people have died in the U.S. alone. This is all due to COVID-19, which lasted almost 2 years before a vaccine was finally produced. But the virus is still prevalent to this day, killing whoever it can despite taking the preventive measures to stop it. The coronavirus has impacted so many lives and will most likely continue this effect throughout history. Children went without proper education for over a year. Technology is an all-time high, and how high inflation has become since the 2000s is all because of COVID-19. First of all, I'd like to say that I was one of those children who were affected by the lack of schooling, so I understand how much this affected others. It's hard to receive proper education when schools become irrelevant to students. Immersing data showed that if precautions were taken, schools were unlikely to become the source of major outbreaks. 1 year can be detrimental to a young child when in that year they could have been learning how to read and write. Instead, they were at home watching TV. This leads to children having a major learning curve throughout their academic careers. Children also lose out on social aspects of school. Interacting with other children their age, it can help them not get the lonely feeling that they got during quarantine. Some people will have an easy time interacting with others. Some will find it unsettling. The pandemic has changed us all. Secondly, the pandemic has allowed time for inventors and scientists to work and think. This eventually led to the Tesla making its first self-driving car and Apple coming out with a virtual reality headset that is readily accessible to the public. It also made a pathway for Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash. But all of those don't compete with online shopping. Shopping apps like Amazon also allowed parents to buy Christmas presents for their family because physical stores were shut down. Everything became digital when people had no other choice but to. The researchers found social media use increased in every demographic. During the first wave of 2020, 70% of recipients responded their social media use increased. During the first wave, people had nothing else to do because they have been so isolated for such a long amount of time. For instance, younger and more educated Americans were more likely to mention the silver linings, while women were more likely than men to mention challenges and difficulties. From their own words, all depends on how you view COVID. There have been downfalls for the majority of people, but without it, society wouldn't be what it is today. Lastly, because of low prices during the COVID pandemic, United States has now become in a recession for the last 2 quarters and is struggling to recover. However, it may be slow, but hope is around the corner. Not all G7 economies have fully recovered to their pre-pandemic size, but contrast, U.S. real GDP is now 5.4% above the level at the end of 2019. This means that prices are falling, but at a slower pace. Although things are starting to return back to the post-pandemic, some things will never be the same again. Between the evolution of our children, technology advances, and the current state of our economy, it is more likely things will never return the way it was. Depending on your view on things, can be either a good or a bad thing. Thank you.